Live from the Blue Room Suite, only on GID Radio. This is Jay to Damar on Twitter, J number 2 THANAR. Follow Swallow.
Yeah, that always gets me. Yo, follow me, at J Driller or not or whatever you want to do, man. What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching this, if you're listening to this, we're sitting down with the legendary, extremely inspirational. I don't know what else. This was my introduction to hip hop, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And before we get into any interview, any questions, anything like that, I want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to say thank you, VJ Ralph McDaniels, for being there after school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you're like my babysitter. You know, I mean, just being there after school. He was Uncle
the good
Ralph.
uncle.
You know, and I want to say thank you for representing hip hop as a culture to its fullest, being very professional about it, introducing us to introducing the world in the first it started in the tri-state area for the most part, and just showing hip hop in all forms and shapes and fashions. I mean, he did everything, and I just want to say thank you. And I think hip hop owes you immensely, like extreme. Like I mean, I believe like you honestly you deserve some type of lifetime achievement award. Something you need to be recognized for all the work that you did. It was a bunch of leg work. It's like this guy. To get into it, I guess we could get into the interview on this because let's start from your origins, from when you went to school at NYU.
Well, I went to college. First, I went to LaGuardia Community College in Queens. So I got like a 2-year degree because you come out of high school. At least for me, I had no idea what I was going to do. I was like, what am I doing right now? And then in there, one thing that was cool about LaGuardia is they had like an internship program. So they would send you out. What do you want to do? And I was like, and they were like, this is the list of things you can do. And I was like, a TV station? Really? Oh, okay. Let me try that out. And that was how I really kind of got the bug to get into the TV thing. So I worked at what's now Fox now, but it wasn't Fox then. And then I started, graduated from LaGuardia, and I went to New York Tech in Westbury, NYIT. And from there, it was like, okay, let's get involved in this radio. I worked at the radio station. You know how it is when you go to communications major. And then I got another internship. The last one was working at this station, WNYC, Channel 31. Yeah. And that was the last one I had. And they said, look, if you graduate, we'll hire you. Okay. And so I started working there. And then I was working as an engineer, just behind the scenes, pulling cables. Eventually became a director, all this stuff, anything but in front of the camera. Everything was behind the scenes. And then one day I was like, I want to do something else. And we were getting these, like, music videos really didn't exist like that. It's hard to believe. But at that time, music videos really didn't exist. And I started getting some, like, live performances of, like, artists like, the Whispers, like R&B 80s acts and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, what's this? Like, I never saw this before, and I never, and they were like, hit records. And I was like, yo, we should make a show out of this. This should be on TV. Wow. And so then we put together, a show, and eventually that became Video Music Box in 1983.
I always wanted to know this. Who was the guy who followed you around the whole time? Because
VidKid, wasn't it?
Well, VidKid was my friend. Me and VidKid grew up together. Lionel Martin, right. And we DJ'd together. So before while all of this was going on, we were also DJing. Okay. So that was like a whole nother life, DJ culture. Yeah. We were going and buying speakers, amps, turntables, that whole scene, record store, So that was another part of my life while I was in school, while I was working as an intern. So that's what was going on.
It's crazy. I wanted to go back to when you were talking about music videos. You didn't really get to see them on TV like that. And I remember, I believe it was like Casey Kasem and things like that. They just show the vinyl playing. They didn't show no video. It was just the record playing. Right.
Yeah.
And it's top 10 songs of the week or whatever. Right. And so, what made you get into like just wanting to get on the other side of the camera? Like, what do you want made you, since you see the whispers and everything, you say, oh, you know what, I want to make this and showcase the community, like hip hop.
I don't know. I never really wanted to be in front of the camera. I just wanted to be, like, even now, like some people say, like we have a general manager. She's like, you're like a radio video show. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I always wanted to be. And I'm still like that because I never wanted to be, you know, a star. You know, I wasn't trying to be Don Cornelius. I wasn't trying to be whoever. You know, it's funny that you mentioned Casey Kasem because I used to listen to Casey Kasem. I used to have this job working on Sunday mornings, and that's what time he came on here. And I used to listen to Casey Kasem all the time, like, and I was like, this dude knows everything.
Right.
He was the man,
right?
Radio.
Like, you know, and so, you know, rest in peace. I loved Casey Kasem. That was like, you know, it was just, you know, it was professional. And I said, if you're gonna do it, you got to be professional about it, you know. So that's a big inspiration to me, listening to Casey Kasem and other people. But you know, eventually somebody said, you know, you should be in front of the camera. You know, this was like by 1985. It wasn't until about 1985 that I actually got in front of the camera and started going into like the Roxy's and uptown to different clubs. We were in the Fever. We were, you know, moving around now because a lot of times, especially with hip hop, there was no video for some songs.
Yes.
So, you know, you might hear the song playing on, you know, Awesome 2 or Red Alert or Mr. Magic or whoever, and there was no video. So we would go to the clubs and tape them live, you know, so we could get, you know, a little visual on it, or be a block party, or it might be, you know, whatever, in the center, whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy because, like, Video Music Box, you know, well, actually before Video Music Box, you know, going back to the music video thing, you know, it's like MTV was around at that time, and MTV was, let's call it what it is. It was segregated. They got accused of racism. They didn't play black videos. I think Rick James called them out. David Bowie.
Yeah.
I think Rick James got banned from MTV.
Yeah.
And they didn't play black videos. And so, what was your reaction when you saw that they wasn't playing black videos on like MTV? Like, and I heard that there's a story that you actually went up there to pitch your show.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the tricky part. Like, MTV was a name, but nobody had MTV other than like a few people in Manhattan because nobody had cable.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody had Channel 31.
Everything
was exactly.
So, you know, MTV, you know, was like, you know, okay, unless you had cousins or somebody that lived in Manhattan or something, that's the only time you saw MTV. Yeah. So the rest of the city, New York and tri-state area, didn't have no MTV. So by the time it got to, you know, like let's say 86, more people were starting to get cable. And so I was like, yo, you know, we should go up there and see if they were interested in carrying us because they don't play really no hip hop. By this time, Run DMC is hot, Houdini's hot, Fat Boys, LL, Dana Dane. You know, all of these people would come. It's just nonstop now. You know, it's like gotta be time for a video show on MTV. Went there, they were like, nah, we're not really interested. You don't understand. Ralph Middle America doesn't want to see hip hop. I'm like, yo, dude, I've been at the Fresh Fest. It's not just black people there. It's white people, Spanish, Asian. This is not a color thing. This is like a movement.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
And so they were like, nah, you know, it's cool when they in the arena, but they don't want to see this in their house on TV. What? So I was like, I don't agree with you, but you know, whatever, you say that.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And that was in 86.
Wow.
And then 87 is when they started Yo MTV Raps.
Raps. Yeah.
That's crazy.
They ran with your idea.
Yeah, so how did you feel about that? Like, they pretty much, like you said, they ran with your idea pretty much, and they saw the wave, the movement. Then they said, oh, let's just jump on this wave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. They had to do it by that time. So I can't say they kind of ran with my idea, but we were just ahead of our time.
Yes.
So they went and did whatever they did. You know, I'd say, well, damn, y'all could have called me and said, you know,
right?
You know, but whatever the case is, they went and did what they did, and people was like, yo, what do you think, man? Yo, is it over for you? Because now they got all this money and they come in with this big machine. And I was like, you know, I would look at MTV and I'd be like, yeah, but they not in the hood.
Yeah,
they not in the hood.
Yeah,
and they didn't. And they didn't really have like when I would check Video Music Box, I would always see something new. Like there was always something, because like when this is hip hop at its like purest, and there was always something new, and there was all the records that was coming out back to back, all these different artists from here, from there, distinct styles to them. MTV Raps didn't play all of that stuff.
Right, they weren't gonna play,
Night of the Living Bass Heads.
Right, they might not play that. They might not play East Flatbush Project Tried by 12. They're not going to play videos like that, which I played them. And I was like, they're not playing this. Bomb. Watch this.
You was breaking videos.
Actually breaking videos and artists. Yeah. And the thing that I loved about Video Music Box, because like you mentioned, Lionel Martin, like guys direct some of the videos that you put on. So MTV had to play like some of those videos.
Well, that was the good part about MTV, because now, videos that we were just playing on on Video Music Box, and we're getting a little play maybe on Friday night videos or something by that time. Now we're on a regular being played on Yo MTV Raps. So people would see our work all the way across the country, So that was the good thing about Yo MTV Raps. So, I looked at it like, okay, if we just did the videos for, we did all the Kane videos, ain't no half step in, and we did the G-Rap videos and the Biz videos, and I mean, who else? LL, just a bunch of stuff during that Stop the Violence, around that time, D-Nice, we did a bunch of stuff, MC Lights videos, we did all of those, and so now they were getting played everywhere.
Well,
where before it was just, Video Music Box, other local shows, that might have been popping up in like San Francisco and LA. There were other local shows like Video Music Box in Detroit, but now there was like a regular show that came on at one time. All these videos got played.
And that was a dope thing that a lot of people don't understand, because it's like a lot of songs, the videos were being played on Video Music Box, but they weren't being played on the radio.
No.
Right.
So, and I was like, wow, this is dope. Like, like I first heard certain songs based on the video that you guys played.
Yeah, because the radio just wasn't ready for hip hop either, unless it was like, college radio or, one of the more smaller stations, which was where guys like Mr. Magic came from, and Awesome 2, and, and other, pioneering cats. And so those was where those guys were coming from. And then Kiss comes on and starts playing these, videos. And Red Alert has a show, and Chuck Chillout has a show, and now, but it's late at night for like 2 hours. And that's it. But we coming on at 3:30 in the afternoon. So
that's like prime time to us.
Was that done purposely? Like, did y'all say we want this time slot because kids get off of school at this time?
And we were trying to reach kids. That was the whole idea. We were trying to reach teens who were into that music, because it was a young people's music.
Yes.
So we were like, we want to go directly with that, and and reach them. So can we get after school? And they were like, okay. This was like the beginning of music videos. Nobody had even seen music videos before. Yeah. So it was like, this is great. The 50-year-old white lady who ran the station was like, this is crazy. Wow, I love it. And so we were like, okay. We moving.
That's it.
We moving. And it was good because they also, they had messages that they wanted to get to teens and whatever. So like back in the days, you would see PSAs, like the PSAs on there. Don't do it. They were like, we got to stop graffiti on trains. I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah, but then this video, check this video out next.
Right. All right. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
But it served a purpose, and it served our purpose.
Yeah. Again, like I said, man, thank you so much, man. Like, you gave birth to so much, and like I said, it's more or less my introduction, besides my neighborhood.
Right.
That I seen it, and I was like, oh, I see it on TV now.
Yeah.
And so when I used to see Video Music Box, the intro alone, just like you would have like these iconic figures, like Prince, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix, and then you'll shuffle in the Fat Boys, Houdini, Run DMC, like people that we you know, like we could relate to. It's like, oh, they could be on the same stage as these guys.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what the intro to Video Music Box meant to me. You know, the radio coming in the back, the lightning bolts and stuff like that. And I love this. So like, who idea was to come up with that intro? Because it's a very unique intro. And how it comes on, it's very classic. I stuck with it for years.
Yeah. That was me. You know, because those were the artists that I thought were reflective of what was going on at that time. Plus some, you know, like James Brown was, you know, James Brown.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it was me. It was like my taste in music.
Okay.
You know, because I would be into Madonna. I could be into James Brown. I could be into Jimi Hendrix. You know.
What about Aha?
Aha. Aha was just a dope video.
I love the video.
Yeah.
You know, I always wondered, did y'all ever play that video on Video?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we played it.
I think I've seen it like maybe once.
Yeah, maybe not. It wasn't in regular, but you know, in the beginning we used to play it a lot. But because I thought it was one of the best videos.
Yeah.
And then see, people kind of go like, "You're Ralph, you're a hip hop pioneer," but I said I'm also a video pioneer.
Yes.
And that's what that represents. That visuals that were cool, like you know. Bernard Wright, Who Do You Love? And he's spinning around. And like, how did they do that? Or, you know, The Far Side, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Upside down. Like,
Yeah.
how did they do that? You know. But that's the kind of stuff I used to like to put out because I knew it would make people say, how did they do that? Wow, that's dope. Make people get, you know, interested in, you know, maybe filmmaking or something. But
were there any times like that, like videos past your desk or anything like that you were like, nah?
Yeah. Quite,
I mean, this is the beginning stages, but still, like.
Yeah, no, there was, you know, it's like, you know, like now there's some whack videos.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. That's.
There's some whack songs. Whack songs back then, you know.
Yeah, which is crazy because, I'm of course, there's always been whack songs, but like, when I watched Video Music Box. I couldn't believe that there was a such thing because I only watched dope stuff.
I'm gonna tell you this
all the time.
Again, my introduction. I used to like you said, everybody didn't have cable.
Right.
So we used to get channel 31. I remember we had the rabbit ears. We had the antennas. So it's like, man, and my boy had a VCR.
Oh, you gotta explain what rabbit is, because they don't have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
Antennas.
Digital TVs.
So. And my, you know, VCRs came out and everything like that, and my friend had a VCR. So I was like, yo, man, we eventually got one. I said, I wanted you to take this tape, and I want you to record every episode of Video Music Box after school. And I used to watch every single video. Like, I used to have like 6-hour tapes of Video Music Box. And I used to watch, and so I used to just watch everything
extended
on VH.
play.
Yeah. Like, exactly.
Yeah, I think I watched I'm looking at the front door. I watched that like 800 times in like 1 week.
I mean, even like, because you know, you do a lot of like house music
house
too.
music too,
Yeah, like how deep were you into house music?
I'm still deep into house music. In fact, tonight I'm doing something with Ray's. What you call him? I can't remember the track right now, but he's a classic house, you know. And so, people got to remember, and me and Red always laugh about this, is that, you know, in the '80s there was all types of music. You know, there was hip hop. There was reggae. There was cool pop stuff like Madonna, Wham, George Michaels. You know, even Bruce Springsteen. You know, he was cool. You know, you were like, you know, I like Bruce Springsteen. And
actually, he's in the intro of Video Music Box too.
Yeah, and then there's, you know, the house music scene that became popular. Probably when they started making videos was around the late '80s. Okay. You know, so you know you got stuff like, you know, Follow Me. And, you know,
which is still played in Jersey.
Right, Ray's Break for Love. And you know, all of these, you know, songs. And so we were part of the scene then, but even before that, in the late, you know, when I was in college, you know, it was not really called house music. It was more like soulful dance music. Okay. So Love Is the Message was considered. Now people, oh, that's house. I'm like, I don't know if it's house. It's called soulful dance music because house was, you know, like four beats, you know, boom, boom, boom. And house really came out of Chicago. That's where that, because we didn't have that boom, 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 boom. That's just an extension of disco. And so before that, it was like, you gotta know the records, you gotta pitch it to play it. You know, it's not gonna go kind of like, it might change. The bass line's gonna, the horns are gonna change. You gotta really know how to mix a record. And so that's what came before house. So I come from that era, and it still exists. So that's like Paradise Garage music, and people talk about the garage and all these places. Those were the kind of music that they were playing there. Me and Russell Simmons used to go to the garage and be like, yo, this is crazy right here. There's thousands of people in here dancing to, you know, all these records and stuff. And they hated hip hop in there. Wow. And I tell people the story. One day, this is when Russell was managing Curtis Blow. And Russell said, yo, I'm gonna get the dude in the garage, Larry Levan, who's a legendary DJ, to play Christmas rapping. So I said, I ain't never heard him play no rap songs in here. So he goes up and then, yo, son, yo, play this joint right here. So the dude looked at it, and threw it against the wall and it smashed, right?
Oh, wow.
Like, I ain't playing no hip hop in here, son.
Wow.
Not gonna happen. This is how people felt about hip hop. This is a black dude too.
Yeah.
And so they hated hip hop. It was like, get it out of here, garbage. So I was like, yo, that was crazy. Like I wanted to leave. I was insulted. You know, like I felt bad for Russell. You know, I was like, you all right? You know, like, you know, right? It's okay. You know. And then, like the next week, just because it was around the holidays, so that was like, that happened like around Thanksgiving. Then it was like a couple of weeks later, WBLS played Christmas rapping, but it was in the daytime. And you never heard a hip hop record played in the daytime, maybe other than like the Sugar Hill Gang up to that point. And so it was like, what? Wow, they playing Christmas rapping in the daytime?
Yeah.
So now everybody knows Christmas rapping. Yeah. The whole city's buzzing off of Christmas rapping. So right before Christmas, we go to the garage again. I'm in there, we doing our thing, checking out chicks, we talking, having a good time. All of a sudden, clap your hands. No, I'm sorry, that's the break. So, you know, anyway, Christmas rapping plays. You know, and I'm like, he's playing a hip hop song in here. Oh, man. And I was like, yo, Russ, yo. I'm looking for Russell, like, yo, where is he? You know, Russell's running around the club. We all just doing our thing. We hanging out. And he was like, I said, yo, son is playing. He's like, yeah, punk ass. You know, you know, Russell played it off like he has to play, man. My shit is hot. Son.
Yeah. I knew it was gonna happen.
Right.
You know.
But that's, you know, that's how tough it was to get hip hop records played, even on to get it played on a black radio station, a station that, you know, BLS was like the station. Wow. They didn't play it. That's why Hot 97 became open to got their lane, because the other stations were fronting.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So, like when you first got it started, and you was, you know, like stories that you've been through, experiences. Did you, in Biggie's lyrics, did you think hip hop would take it this far?
I didn't think it would be this far. I had never experienced any type of music going like that. Okay. To be honest with you, I was like, I kind of came up with, you know, around R&B and soul and stuff like that, and then, you know, but I was already, you know, that already was big already. Yeah. So this was something new that started within me, around me, and I was like, okay, and you know, I didn't know how big it could get. You know, I didn't know how, you know, soul started. I mean, I knew how it started, but I wasn't there watching it. Yeah. This I watched from the beginning. Yeah. So I was like, yo, really? It's, you know, so you watched it grow from nothing,
baby,
to something. So I had no idea what big was until even now. It could be, you know, it's still big to me. Yeah. You know, it's still growing, and people still go, oh, it's still growing. You know, it's gonna be big. You know, and I'm like, so mad records, man. You got millionaires, a billionaire, damn near Jay-Z. Yeah. You know, so, you know, like it's big. Shoot.
But it's sort of like, even though it still grows, it goes back, right? And you know, it fluctuates,
right?
And so, with that being said, you know, fast forward into the future now we have, like we were talking about, there's a lot of whack records out there. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of whack records, there's a lot of whack videos.
Right.
You know, but you still have to do your thing.
Yeah, you have to balance it out. You know, it's kind of tough sometimes, but I mean, it's not that tough. You know, I look at it like, okay, last summer, you know, I remember a kid came to me and was like, yo, there's this kid named Bobby Schmurters. Oh, he's hot. So I said, all right. So I go and I look at the video on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, it does look like it's popping off, but I can't call it. You know, I don't know that it's going to be as big as it is at that point, you know. But I said, you know what? Something about this dude, he got a little swagger to him. I could see him winning. And it wasn't really the song. It was more Bobby Shmurda that I believed in. So, and I said, let's go with it, you know. And, you know, so you'll have little moments like that. Then there's a bunch of other stuff that just kind of sounds the same. And nothing against what anybody does, because I've been in the clubs. You know, people go, I hate Future. I mean, I hate, what's the dude's name? Young Thug. Right. And then I've been in the club and been like, I understand why.
Why,
Right now, here in this moment, right now, amongst all these girls and all this liquor, we understand why.
Of course.
And that's the whole thing. You know, now, outside of that situation, would I really be, you know, wanting to play it? Like, oh, I'm getting ready to play my Young Thugs. Like, not me. But, you know, in that situation, I can dig it. You know, so it is what it is. But I think that it's good now because you have lyrical cats, a lot of lyrical cats, you know, getting the opportunity and you know, guys like, you know, Joey Badass and you know, even Kendrick, you know, what he did coming from the West Coast, and other West Coast guys that I've been following for years now, getting a little bit more, you know, evidence, and dudes like, you know, all of those cats, you know, who I'm like, how come people don't listen to these guys as much? They're dope, you know?
Sometimes we always have that's like the great debate, but I think sometimes what we was talking about before, right before you got here, artists that are talented sort of feel like it's just gonna come to me, and then artists that are like whack, but they believe in themselves so much, they are willing, you know, to put it on the line. Like they'd be like, how much to play my record? Bam, you know, and they're willing to put it on the line. Like, I'm gonna get played. Like, I'm gonna make sure I get played.
Right.
Where the talented artists, you know, like obviously you've seen it from the beginning, so you know it was like when someone said, "Yo, Ralph, you gotta hear this dude right here," and it was like something big.
Right.
But now it's like, yo, this dude right here wants to pay you to play this record right here.
Right.
You know, it's like a whole different thing.
Yeah.
The dope artist, maybe more people would listen to them.
Just you know, bouncing off of that, it's like the Making of Illmatic episode that you did with Nas. Like, how was, like, for instance, like, this was before we heard the album, and I'm just, you know, there's so many people that I personally was like, all right, you know, Ralph McDaniels is narrating the video, Premier, Large Pro, Pete Rock, and he's the second coming to Rakim. I was like, whoa, these dudes are vouching for him. So, like when you that Nas video came out, the Making of Illmatic, how confident were you? It's like, yo, this dude is going to hit.
By that time, I was confident because of who was behind it, and I'd heard, you know, more of the tracks. But, you know, you gotta think about it, like Large Professor, you know, a guy who I grew on me, you know, in Main Source. You know, I watched him as an artist first, and then I was like, oh, he produces all this stuff too? I didn't know that. You know, so then I was like, okay. So now I'm starting to pay attention to other stuff that he's doing. And, you know, and then they're talking Nas. And then I had worked with Third Base. And Search is like, yo, wait till you hear about Nas. And I'm like, I heard about this kid Nas, but I haven't heard the music yet. And so then we finally get a call. I think I was doing something for Sony and Columbia Records. And they said, yo, we want to get you involved in this Nas project. So I'm like, all right. He said, actually, Nas wants you to get involved in this project. So I said, okay. So he said, we're going to get him on the phone. So he's like, yo, Rob. And I don't know Nas. I'm just talking to him.
Wow.
So he's like, yo, you know, I watch you on TV. I want you to can you do this thing, like this press kit? And, you know, it's going to just look like your show. I just want to feel like I'm watching your show. So I said, okay, no problem. So I'm like, who's involved in this? And we're going to get you all the producers. We'll get them all in this one studio so you can interview them. And then everything else you work out with Nas. So I go to the crib, I go to the bridge, hang out with his apartment with his mom and his brother and dudes in the hood. Now, I've been to the bridge. I know Marley, and, you know, because I've been messing with Kane and all the dudes, and, you know. And even before that, you know, just being out there, just because LaGuardia was right there, around the corner from the Queensbridge. So, you know, I know the bridge. I'm hanging out, blah, 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 blah. And then but I mean, I know that the Nas project is going to be good because the streets are buzzing about it now, but we're not sure. I do that EPK, so we're way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You know, now the single is like, it ain't hard to tell. And, yo, can you do the video? Because you just did this, we really like this. It feels like right. Can you do the video? I said, yeah, let's do it. So, you know, boom, we go out, we shoot the video. Now he's buzzing. His thing is off the hook. And so, you know, and that was it. You know, it took off from there. You know, I worked on Large Professor's, I did Just Hanging Out. Well, I didn't do it. I produced it, and Hype directed it. Because Hype was my intern.
Yeah, it's crazy how
Hype Williams. And so we did that. So, you know, we're all in the same circle. It's Large Professor, Surge, Chirac, you know, all of these, you know, people that, you know, kind of know each other. And it was just, you know, it was really Nas that was like, I grew up watching you. I want you to be involved in this. And that's how it took off. So the you know, but to hear guys like Q-Tip and Pete Rock and Large Professor and Premier talk so highly of him was like, okay, you got an all-star lineup. For real.
Yeah.
I don't think that's actually happened like that.
Well, you know, I think, who was it? I think Nonfiction, I think Futures Now, I think they had that same production lineup, but it was, I think Nas was more or less, it was just the buzz of this kid. That's why they jumped aboard. I think they sought those guys out to duplicate that lineup,
right.
You know?
Well, I'm like sort of saying like what we were talking about before. No one says anymore, yo, this is that next dude. Everybody's the next dude.
Right.
Like, you have no idea who the next dude really is gonna be, you know? Like, we had DCQ here last week. We said, you know, he said, you know, I manage and stuff like that. We said, well, what does it take for somebody like you? I mean, cause you're gonna get a lot of stuff,
right?
You know, like, yo, Uncle Ralph gets like 50 videos, you know, like, like, how do you sort through them and be like, yo, well, this is the next dude? Like, nobody does that anymore. No one says, yo, this is. They don't want to say this is the next dude. They want to say I'm the next dude.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you just listen to whatever you can, and then the thing is now that it's not like before where you could put out a song, chill for 3 months or 4 months, then think about putting. Now you gotta keep putting something out, a freestyle, something. You know, that's got to be consistent. So, you know, it's like before I was coming here, Innocent had sent me a song, and I was listening to it. Now we've been playing this song by Innocent, or video by Innocent, featuring Nutso, and now he sent me another one with Nitty Cruz. No, what's the girl's name?
Nitty Scott.
Nitty Scott. Yeah, and it's cool because I never had a video by her that I played on my show. I've never played. I know who she was. Yeah. But I never played a video, and so I was like, okay, this is cool because I got a new Innocent video, and I got her for the first time. I'm playing something with her on it, and I think that he's got a movement, or, you know, something. He's being consistent right now, and I think that I'm hoping that you know, maybe he's been consistent all along, Innocent, but I'm helping it kind of move along. And, you know, I think for New York to get, or not even just New York, for people to get a certain sound that we know is the right sound, whatever that is, we all have to do it collectively as, you know, as radio hosts, as TV people, as bloggers, as photographers, as other artists, as whatever, because that's the way it started back then. It was, you know, one movement. It wasn't like, you know, oh, I gotta go speak to the blogger. It was like, that's the dude. You know, and he does it, so go talk to him. And he does it, and then Son does the radio show, so go up there and see them. And then these dudes, you know, they know how to draw. They could hook up your artwork for you. And
you had to go see everybody.
You know, it was just like that. And then eventually it was like, it was moving. And you got to do it like that because, and then the other thing is that I don't like right now is that we don't necessarily talk to each other as much. It's more, it's very electronic, You know?
Yeah.
And I understand why it got to that point, but it's got its good and its bad.
Yeah.
Now we don't, I can't be like, kicking it with somebody and be like, you know what, I really don't like this dude. I want to.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I really don't want to mess with this dude, right?
Yeah.
Now before, now it's like, yo, son, we going back and forth on Twitter or Instagram and da-da-da-da.
You really don't know who that person is.
You don't know who that person is.
Yeah, because you don't even know what kind of context they're even talking in.
Right.
You're just reading it in your own way. Like,
right.
this is how he probably sounds.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you meet him, and then it's like, oh, shit. Well, it's funny because that's what DCQ said last week. He said something to the effect of, the thing about it is when I get music, yeah, your music sounds one way, but I'm gonna have to hang out with you because you might be somebody else. And then,
better, right.
and then I'm gonna put my name on this.
On branded,
And you're this other dude that I have no idea. Like, so I can't just, all right, yeah, this sounds good, but now I'm gonna have to chill with you.
Point. Yeah, that's a real good point.
Yeah, because people, and that's the thing, because before, you would see you'd see everybody all the time out. So exactly, the word of the mouth is going to be around. They're going to be like, yo, Ralph, this dude right here, man, chill, man.
Right.
This dude's wild.
Right.
I don't know, something about him, he's really living what he's rapping about. Maybe we should chill.
Like, what's one of the wildest, like, environments you ever been in terms of while you was doing video music box or filming a video?
We've been in there all kinds, man. It's like, I was talking to Kid Capri like a couple of months ago, and he's like, yo, You've risked your life for a long time being at hip hop shows. And I never really look at it like that because we just moving, we doing what we doing. But
everybody know Uncle Ralph. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we've been in shootouts and all kinds of other stuff.
I could imagine.
And and like wow.
Like name two like you could think off the top of your head.
I remember we were in Harlem. No, it was in the Bronx. And it was New Year's Eve, which I never went out on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is also New Year's Day is Grandmaster Flash's birthday. So we go to the Bronx, my boy's throwing a party, and she's got Flash DJing in there. And so I'm down with him, like, we partnered up on doing the party. Place is packed, I come in. I'm like, oh, we're getting some money tonight. All right, we looking good right now. I come in, my boy's there. I see Flash leaving because he's leaving. He got his cake, his girl, his whoever's with him. And I'm like, all right, man. So I go in. I'm not in there like 2 minutes. I hear pop, 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 pop.
Wow.
So I'm like, then I hear,
Shit.
and I'm like, oh.
Oh, man.
So immediately I'm like, boom, we down.
Yeah.
And so I see my boy, and then I see Biz. I didn't even know Biz Marquis was there.
Wow.
And Biz Marquis like flies past me.
You sure that wasn't him beatboxing?
Right, I know, right? And and then I'm on the ground, and everybody's on the ground, and dudes is like, people are yelling and screaming, and like the gunshot is coming closer.
Wow.
I hear glass breaking. I'm like, yo, dudes is just like bum rushing the spot like that. I'm like, okay. So I just sit on the ground, and I got like a nice little fresh joint on, coat on. I'm like, it's a club, it's wet on the floor. I'm looking at my gear like, damn. Yeah. And son runs up on me with the pistol in his hand, because now I'm behind the bar, because I'm right on the side of the bar, and he's like grabbing bottles, some dude, So I'm like, these dudes is wilding right now. They taking bottles and everything.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Like I figured they just come for the dough. They taking
money,
the bottles now too.
Right?
And so dude looks at me. He got the pistol in his hand. So I'm like, I don't want to look at nobody.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see your face.
Let me see what
see
you look
you.
like. Yeah.
And so he looks. He said, "Oh, word, Uncle Ralph." I'm like, oh.
Oh, man.
He said, yo, son, my boys is wilding. Yo, you good. Just stay right there. Just stay right there. So as soon as he moved, I moved. Because I didn't want him to come back. I was like, that nigga coming back here. Fuck that.
Yeah, right. Wow.
But, I mean, we've been in situations, and, the good thing is that God, God has blessed us. We still here. And we know. But you know what? I tell people and artists all the time is like, respect the street, because the street don't change.
Yeah.
The street will always be the street.
Yeah, that's right.
And so don't think that you get too big or too, popular that you can't got. So don't sleep.
Actually, that raises the odds of you getting got. Like you're popular or whatever.
Yeah,
Someone
like,
thinks you got money.
Yeah.
And
Don't start walking around, New York thinking, or wherever you were from, whatever. Don't have nothing to do with New York, whatever city, they're thinking that you better than or something because, it's not about that. You're blessed to be able to have the talent to be an entertainer, and I think the street respects that. But once you cross that line, you gotta be careful.
I remember. I don't mean to cut you off. I remember a couple of years back when I was just telling you about that we met up by Horace Harding and stuff like that. We was talking. I remember you saying something to the effect of, "It's hard to get East Coast artists to get their videos to you. It's like pulling teeth with them.
Well, this is when YouTube became popular and people just was like, oh, okay, I can put it on YouTube, and you got instant gratification out of seeing your video getting hits. Went from 5 to 10 to 20 to 20,000 to 30, and you were like, I'm hot.
Yeah.
But nobody on your block ever heard your song.
Yeah.
Nobody, maybe even in your town, ever heard your song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's giving people a false sense of, gratification because, somebody saw it, it's cool. But you don't know who those people are sometimes. Right. And so now people are like, oh, I'm good. I don't need to be doing nothing. I'm just going to place my video on YouTube and I'm good, money. You see my numbers, son? We doing our numbers, son. Yeah. And I'm like, where you from? And I'm like, let me call somebody from around your way, see if they know you, if they ever heard of you. Nobody knows you.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, I don't understand. How can you be so hot? You got 1 million views and nobody on your block ever heard your song. They never even knew that you rap, son.
Word.
So I'm confused right now, and then that buzz flies out the window and it's over fast. And so, I just was, it was a struggle because I was like, yo, send me the video so we can play it. We still got our audience on TV. It may not be the audience that you think you're trying to reach, but you never know.
No, yeah.
Who it is that, you can reach on TV.
Right. Or who's watching that might say, oh.
Right. And so it was a struggle. Sometimes a struggle now. Some guys might feel, well, I know how I'm getting my audience. I got my bloggers that I've thrown my video out to. They reach my audience, and that may be good for them.
You're just speaking about that.
Yeah, and that may be fine for them. And I think if I'm somebody, I want to reach as many people as I can. If I was an artist, or if I'm putting out some type of content or trying to get some message across, somehow, and I want to reach as many people as I can. So I always try to at least have a conversation with an artist who might feel like, well, that's an older hip hop audience that you might have, Ralph. I'm like, I don't think if you go ask Bobby Shmurda, he was like, yo, son, I seen my video. My moms know you, son. Like they know, So I think that people need to just kind of like, I don't believe everything that the industry tells me.
Yeah. Right.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I don't believe nothing. Go with what you feel. Right. Go with what you feel in your heart.
Yes.
Like, you know what? I'm going with what I think is the right thing to do.
Right.
And I'm good. I live with that. Because if you go by what the industry or some dude tells you, some marketing dude,
yeah,
you be ass out.
Yeah. I want to switch gears real quick. And, we talk about how hip hop, has evolved. You've been there from like pretty much the beginning. You've seen it as a baby in infant stages. So I wanted to switch gears on the point of Ferguson, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, the rash of police brutality that's going throughout the country. Rewind a little bit. Stop the violence movement. Zulu Nation, Hill, we're on the same game. Fight the power, fuck the police. Where has hip hop's political voice gone?
It got moved over by the system. The system is once again those same people that'll tell you just put your video on YouTube or just do this or just put that skirt on. Just wear your jeans a little bit tighter. You know, those are the same people, and because they're the trend, and they're the people that do that kind of thing, and nothing against anybody that wears whatever they wear. So I think that we were stripped of the culture a long time ago, of not just hip hop culture, of African American culture. But for this conversation, we'll talk about hip hop culture, and we'll talk about how, you know, when we first came out, you know, we were talking, you know, fight the power and, you know, self-destruction, and, you know, KRS-One was popular, and Sugar Hill and Run DMC, and, you know, you go on, and the list goes on and on. We had party songs. We had Dougie Fresh. We had, you know, Kid and Play. You know, all of that existed in the same space, but it was balanced. Right. So now we don't have the balance. Everything is ratchet. You know, everything is, you know, sipping syrup, you know, whatever, you know the rest, Molly's and whatever. Yeah. So they don't want you to think, and everything is about a hook. It's not about a verse. It's about a half a hook, you know? And so that's the dumbing down, and we've been talking about dumbing down for the longest. You know, now we're at the epitome of dumbing down.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And so that's where all of that goes. So when someone, a 20-year-old or 16-year-old or 17-year-old, comes up and starts kicking lyrics, like, people can't even intake that much information in their brain, because it's just way too much. You know, like now, there's somebody going like, this is way too much, man. It's too heavy. You know, can't take it, dude. You know? And I understand, you know, because that's what happened. And that's what happened to consciousness and all of that. But I think that it's coming back. I think we have an opportunity right now to take advantage of it, and, you know, it still needs a big wave. You can't expect that it's just going to be like, oh, we're back. It's not going to happen like that. People have to support it. More guys have to play it. More guys have to go to the shows and show that it's being supported financially. You know, if somebody puts something out and is trying to sell it, buy it, you know. And it's just the amount of energy that went into making what hip hop is today should be put into bringing it to what we think it should be, whatever that is. And that's it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a couple of years ago, you actually won an award for hip hop against gun violence and gangs. You know, I was wondering your view on, you know, today, like you said, today's music, they pretty much encourage the gun violence, the gang violence, the things. Before, hip hop seemed like kind of street reporters. Now they seem like cheerleaders. You understand? So it's like
because you have bloggers who are trying to get, you have people who are trying to get likes and followers, and they're all gonna be like, oh look, son got his ass kicked backstage at the concert in Houston. Oh shit, you know, this one is, you know, got such and such pregnant. He's over, son. It's finished. You know, so anything to make it look like a person look bad in any way. You know, I remember when Star and Buck Wild first came around on Hot 97. I was working at Hot 97. And it was just everything was negative. It was funny, but it was like, now I'm like, I don't know if I like this, because you're making people look bad. You know, like that's your whole objective. Even Wendy Williams. You know, your whole objective is to make people look bad. You know, and I'm like, and you coming up off of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a problem with that. You know? Yeah. And so the people were, you know, looking at me, you know, the commercial heads were looking at me and going like, yeah, why are you taking it so serious? And like, because it is serious. It's the demise of our community, our culture. Right. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't see other people, other communities doing that. Why are we doing that here? You know? Yeah. You know, I'm not going and listening to, you know, these other stations and you hear this going on. So why are we allowing that to happen here? So whatever the case is, here it is now, 20 years or 15 years later after starring Buck Wild and Wendy Williams got her own show and, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And, it still exists, but it exists more on the blogs, And, people make a living off of that.
Yeah.
Of going around and making people look bad, paparazzi or whoever it is, that's why Kanye is, like y'all get paid for this.
Yeah.
It's not like y'all are just making me look bad. On top of it, you make me look bad and you get paid for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like somebody's gonna pay for this.
Yeah.
So if y'all gonna get paid, I'm gonna get my satisfaction out of knocking somebody out.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I always wondered this, since you're a very iconic figure. You're very inspirational to me, and I'm pretty sure to millions of other hip hop fans. Who inspired you?
For me, it was guys like we mentioned earlier, Casey Kasem. It was Frankie Crocker, in the 70s and early 80s on the radio. It was just a breath of fresh air that this dude came on. Frankie Crocker was on WBLS. Please Google him, whatever you gotta do. Yeah. And he would come on and be like, and the town would stop. And that first song that he played at the top of the hour when he came on was always the hit. Yeah. The new hit. So when you talk about playing new songs, I knew that you had to have that new song every show. We got to have something that's going to break, something that's going to be hot, something that's going to be a hit. So we wanted to always have something like that because that's what Frankie did. And I guess, there were DJs, like club DJs. There was a guy named Grandmaster Flowers when I was growing up, and I remember clearly going to Reese Beach in Brooklyn and watching. He had his equipment set up, and I was like, this is crazy right here. All these speakers, and and he's playing, and the crowd is going crazy. He's controlling the whole. That's why I got into the DJing, because, and that was the motivation for everything, the DJ.
Yeah, DJ. Yeah.
So the DJ now then goes into how I do my video show, how I do producing of the videos, how I do everything. It all started really from and DJs and people who know about music understand this. There's a rhythm that we do it at, and it's a way it flows, So we doing it right now. We all doing it right now. And so that's where all of that came from. So that's Grandmaster Flowers, at Reese Beach. I'm a shorty. I'm a kid. My uncle takes me out there. Reese Beach used to have a naked, butt naked section. That's how, that's how crazy. That's how crazy it was. We couldn't wait to get to Reese Beach, so we could sneak off and go to the nude section. We're going to the bathroom.
Yeah, right. Wow. The archive of Video Music Box. Do you have any unreleased footage that you might release in the near future? That's something that's like, yo, wait till y'all see this.
What's crazy is that I find something every day that I forgot about. We put out that ODB and Jizza recently, freestyle, and I forgot about that.
Wow.
And it was ODB and Jizza in the bathroom. This is before Wu-Tang. This is not Jizza. This is Genius.
Genius.
Right?
Yeah.
And so where I'm going through some footage, and I can't remember what club it was at. Oh no, it was at I think it was at Home Base. And this was 1991, 92, Home Base. And there's no Wu-Tang. We worked with the Genius. I did Girl Come Do Me. Yeah. Yeah. Come Do Me. And we did that video. And ODB was in it, but nobody knew who ODB was. Yeah. And so was Raekwon.
Wow, really?
Knew it.
I gotta watch the video.
You gotta look at it. You was gonna laugh. So we were like, okay. So here we know who Genius is, but we don't know who these other guys are. I mean, I knew who RZA was. RZA was Prince Raheem.
Yeah.
Then, so then boom. Next thing I know, Prince Raheem is coming to me with yo, I want you to check out this joint I just did for my group Wu-Tang Clan, and he gives me Protect Your Neck. The video. There's no song out. There's no vinyl out or nothing. Yeah. He did the video before he even before he even had a record deal.
Yeah.
He did the video.
Wow.
So I'm looking at the video and I'm like, this is crazy. It's got the time code on it.
Yeah,
it looks like it's not even. It looks like it's not even done. I said, yo, man, So when you finish with it, he said, you can play it just like that.
Yeah.
Serious broad,
Right. So I'm like, are you sure? So I'm like, I guess we could. I said, it was so hot that I was like, all right. Like, it's exclusive. This is super exclusive.
Yeah.
It's not even done.
This is not even massive. Bam.
Right. Super exclusive.
It's funny.
Hey, you did Cream.
We did Cream. Yeah, we did Cream. That was then, now they're on because they got a deal. So we did Cream. I worked with Raekwon on Ice Cream. I worked with we did Heaven and Hell for them. We did Incarcerated Scarface. That's one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember they used to, because I'm right over here in Sunset Park, and they're right over the bridge, and they used to come in like small little SUVs,
the MPVs,
and they would come out with like cassette tapes and all of that stuff. They had like a big box and like just rows of cassettes, because my block was like a super drug block, so it was like the block to go to sell you.
Right,
like, yo, this is. And they would have a big ass radio and they would play it, and everybody would be like, yo, what's that? Yeah, let me get that one. And I remember hearing METHOD, and like everybody rocked it, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what, whatever.
How did this
This is pretty dope. And then I saw Protect Your Neck on Video Music Box. And I was like, holy shit. But I didn't know that was the same people.
Right.
I had no idea. No idea.
Yeah, because they did them both around the same time, kind of in a way. Yeah. RZA was smart, man. RZA's definitely, man. He knew, like, nah, this is going to work. I'm already shooting videos. I don't even have a record deal. My thing is going to jump off.
So what's up with Crazy Sam?
Crazy Sam is in LA. He was here last time I saw him. It's probably like 4 or 5 years ago. He's in LA. Crazy Sam always was. Actually, before I even met Crazy Sam, he's still crazy. He was out there doing, believe it or not, stand-up comedy.
Wow.
And trying to kind of get his thing together. He not like traditional stand-up comedy like you would imagine. He'd be beating people up in the audience and shit like that. But he's still out there.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of was it Prince Dejan?
Oh, Ray Dejan.
Ray Dejan.
Yeah, Ray. He's another comedy dude. He does a lot of the comedy shows out here. Tons of comedy out here. He's from Park Slope, and he started getting into the comedy thing. So he does it now, especially in Brooklyn. Tuffy is on. He's an actor. He does Person of Interest, Gotham.
Nice.
Oh, really?
He's got some other HBO stuff that he's been involved in. He's called me up and said, yo, I need you to come through. They need somebody to do this on HBO, so I've done a couple little HBO things with him. So we're still there, we're still talking.
Has anybody ever asked you like, yo, we want you to be in this?
Only Juice.
Juice, yeah, I was about to say that.
Well, even that, Juice was like, I was the producer, associate producer on Juice. And so Juice was like, we need somebody to consult to help us out, because nobody was really coming through and help. Nobody, like Hollywood came to New York, we didn't trust them. We were like, nah,
they didn't know.
This ain't for real. Y'all not paying us. We ain't gonna get jerked. And so I was like, okay, what's the problem? They were like, nobody believes in us. Only person we got is Tupac. So I said, I'll get y'all some people,
Yeah.
So I said, y'all gotta give me a title or something. So I was like the consultant. So then I was like, well, do I get paid for this? How does this work?
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, we'll pay you every week, And so I said, all right. I said, nah, let me be the associate producer, because I don't know what the consultant is. I started looking at the end of the movies, and I was like, how about associate producer? Could I be that?
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't be the producer because they already had that dude. Now we'd be stepping on his toes. They were like, yeah, you can be the associate producer. I said, okay, cool. So I start calling up people. Call up Queen Latifah. Call up Naughty by Nature, EPMD, Bomb Squad, Shockley, and them. They was doing Public Enemy to do the soundtrack. And then people started showing up. And that's how the Juice staff came together. Omar, all of the guys that were working on it, auditioned. I was there when they auditioned. Other than Tupac was the only one that was down.
Yes.
Because they came from the West Coast and they had Tupac. They knew that Tupac was the star.
Yeah.
And this is before he was, He was still part of Digital
Underground,
Underground back then. And so I was like, I heard of him, but I don't know.
Well, actually, Lionel did the
Right.
video for Dear Mama.
Yeah, we did Dear Mama. We did about 3 or 4 videos for Pac.
Yeah.
And worked with Suge, and we did a bunch of stuff.
How was that? Do you ever had a one-on-one with Suge? Like, you ever met him?
Yeah. Nah, we had to deal with Suge on the regular. He was just like I played football, so he was like a big football player, big dude. So I was like, he ain't that tough. We could take
You're right.
we could take him down.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Shot block. But speaking of Tupac, and this is, I guess, like a 3-part type of question. Like, when were you, and how did you hear, like, when Tupac died, Biggie died, and when Jam Master Jay died?
Pac, was probably I don't know where I was at when I heard that Pac got killed or he got shot, and I just knew that people were upset, and I felt bad for Pac because Pac, as far as like culturally, he was probably one of the most down people for culture and people and mankind, and cared about people. But the problem with Pac is that, sometimes he drank too much and get himself in the wrong positions. That's usually what happens with anybody. These guys get around the wrong people. They start believing, or they are not paying attention. And, and I've been around Pac in those situations where too much alcohol, too much weed.
Yeah.
This is going to be a problem. And he turns into another guy. Same thing with ODB. And it is what it is. It's the nature of life. Yeah. It doesn't have to be an artist. It could be your uncle or your cousin or, whoever. With Big, that was really sad because a lot of my friends were at that party when they were out there in LA. And my phone was just, I don't know, was it a beeper or something? Yeah, I guess back then it was beeper. Yeah. And it was just like going off. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then, I get this call, and then I got to go to the radio station. I think I was working at Hot then, or maybe I wasn't working there yet, but I had some affiliation there. And, it was like, what the heck just happened here? So that was a little weird. And Jam Master Jay was just the most, I never saw that coming at all.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, that one was crazy. Jay was one of the best guys in the world. I don't know. I still don't know to this day how that all came about, but I knew that, the streets. I can remember when it happened, and I saw 50. This is, 50 was kind of, signed by Jay. He was part of the whole movement in the beginning, and he was like, "Yo, bro," he looked at me like he was in shock that this happened, and I was looked at 50 like. And I didn't even know 50 Cent then. Oh. And he knew that by seeing me, it was like seeing Jay. Like, because we come from the same era. And he just was like, yo, man, I don't know, I'm sorry. I don't know. And I'm like, and I was just looking at 50, because 50 was a star by this time, but he was early in the game. And I remember looking at him when I was like, I feel bad, because I don't know what to tell you, dude. I have no idea what to tell you right now.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It's always, messed up, especially because Jay, and I mean the other guys too, but Jay was like the backbone of Run DMC, and people don't even realize that.
Yeah.
People go, oh, Run DMC, and Run DMC will always get the awards, and everything will be da 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 da. But without Jam Master Jay, I don't think that group could.
There wouldn't be no, there wouldn't be no Run DMC.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Mm-hmm. So before we get out of here, I want throw.
16, quick 16.
Yeah, you exclusive. First thing that comes to your mind, I'm just gonna throw a couple of words out there. See what you think.
A little hip hop video games.
Okay. Yeah. Skinny jeans.
He's not right. Tight.
Nas versus Jay-Z.
Nas all day.
Oh, here we go. Hip hop culture.
Ralph McDaniels.
Chuck D.
Fight the power.
Bodega Cold Kutz.
Oh, hip hop all day.
All right, VJ Ralph McDaniels, man. Before we get out here, can you say this is VJ Ralph McDaniels? You're now tuned into the Bodega Cold Kutz Radio Show.
Yeah, this is VJ Ralph McDaniels. You're now tuned in to the Bodega Cold Kutz Radio Show. The whole tri-state area. We here in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Get ready. We're about to blast off. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the best shit ever.
Peace.
Peace. Oh my goodness, yo. Thank you for that, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
That was smooth, bro. I was like, going a long time. We moving, bro.
Yeah. Because we ended at 8, so we did a little overtime, but that's cool, man.
Good.
Picture again, I guess, right? Again. I got a quick jump? Yeah. I want Ralph McDaniels for my voice now. Like, do you do that to your kids? This is VJ Ralph McDaniels. You should be home by now. That's what I'm saying.
You know, my thing was the high voice coming in, like the cool voice coming in. You know,
Well, cool, right? Yeah.
now everybody's right. Now everybody's
Because the DJs was usually like